welcome you back to the Grand Victoria Casino. We are in Elgin, Illinois, not far from Chicago, about a 40-minute drive, and we come now to our main event. Battle for the USBA Junior Lightweight Championship, Lamont Pearson and Carlos Navarro. And Rich, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but this junior lightweight division offering a lot of very attractive fights, and of course, our two main event fighters trying to get just a little piece of all of that.
Well, yeah, and you know, at the very top, it's very difficult because you've got so much unbelievable talent at the very top with a lot of the undefeated champions, and then you have these two guys, for example, Joel Casamayor, Stevie Forbes, and that leaves out a couple of the champions, though, Acelina Freitas, who of course has won all of his fights by knockout, who Casamayor is supposed to fight if Freitas can get his weight problems under control, and then of course Floyd Mayweather, who I'm sure the vast majority of people will say is still number one in the 130-pound division. So it's it's a heck of a division.
Yeah, it's really a tough division, and as a matter of fact, the good thing about it, because it is so tough, should be some big money fights. And these guys tonight, as we said, one of these guys has been assured the #1 ranking in the IBF, so there really is something to fight for these guys.
Well, and I think they have a chance, obviously that makes it very important because they leapfrog a lot of people right into a title contending position. So for Carlos Navarro and Lamont Pearson, you have two guys on the cusp who have a chance of being able to knock down the door, have a chance to fight for the title.
Lamont Pearson is ready to become a player in the talented 130-pound division. Now in his third year as a pro, Pearson thinks he can crash tonight through an open door of opportunity. As an amateur, he did by winning the Golden Gloves Championship. And finally, at the age of 30, has that same feeling again.
When I first turned professional, I wasn't thinking world champion. I was taking one fight at a time, and I knew at my age, I had to work pretty quickly and to move up in the ranks. So I took it one fight at a time, and every fight has been a test to get to this level.
By stepping up in class and taking on the veteran Harold Warren, Pearson served notice he'd arrive with body punches and finishing blows to the head. Warren was KO'd, and Pearson could say, hey, look at me.
I'm the only junior lightweight to knock Harold Warren out, even though, he was up in age also, but he came to fight. 12th round. My confidence is soaring.
There is no wanting for confidence on the face or in the mind of Pearson's opponent tonight, Carlos Navarro, who bounced back from a shocking junior featherweight 1999 loss to Carlos Contreras to a heavier weight against Javier Lucas, and he looked good.
For a while I was thinking I was going to be a 122-pounder for a while, and after that night I knew I wasn't going to fight there anymore. So I learned that, you know what, I'm growing, I'm not at that weight anymore. I have to move up and, go from there.
He's gone from there 4 times since and won them all, including his last bout, a spectacular KO of Ubaldo Hernandez in the 7th round. And now at 130, perhaps Navarro is ready to fulfill the enormous potential he showed as an amateur and put his name alongside the glittering names in the division.
Of course I see my name up there. That's why I trained so hard for this fight. This is a stepping stone for me. And I've been waiting around so long so that my name could be heard out there. And this is my chance and time to prove everyone, that I'm up there and I'm a true champion.
So what you have here in this situation, Barry, is, as you heard Lamont Pearson say, he wasn't expecting any world championships when he began his pro career. And he meets tonight Navarro, a guy whom everyone expected world championships when he started his pro career after a great amateur career. Tonight, their two roads, very different, intersect in what has to be a crossroads fight.
And one of them, of course, is very likely to get that world championship. The guy who didn't expect it, or the guy who did expect it. Carlos Navarro and Lamont Pearson will fight tonight for the right to fight for a bigger championship in a division where it seems that the top 4 guys don't want any part of each other. We're coming back. Back to Elgin, Illinois. We're looking at the Fox River. It's supposed to be summer, but not quite yet. We come now inside the Grand Victoria Casino to our main event. As we said, it's a battle for the USBA Junior Lightweight Championship. Lamont Pearson and Carlos Navarro. And Rich, we've talked about what might be for these two fighters once the fight is over. Let's talk a little bit about what might happen in this fight.
Well, I think it should be a very interesting strategic fight. All my reports that I've gotten on Lamont Pearson have been very good. The fact that he's a pretty slick guy in there, and he looked very very good in knocking out Harold Warren in that fight just a few months ago. We know that Carlos Navarro has a lot to offer. So I think we're going to see a stylistic battle in there between these two. I think it's going to take a little time for them to size each other up and see what each man has got. It's going to be an interesting chess match, I think.
All right, so now we know what Rich Murata thinks. Let's find out what the champ thinks. Sean O'Grady, how do you see this fight?
You know, Barry, I think Rich Murata is right on. You know, Lamont Pearson is a real classy fighter. He fights with a stand-up style. He boxes well. But Carlos Navarro is one of those fighters that is in your face. He's going to be setting the tempo, setting the agenda. This fight for the USBA Championship, there's a lot riding on this match. For that reason, I think Carlos Navarro really is going to pull ahead in a very, very close fight. You'll see a lot of strategy. You'll see a lot of style. You'll see a lot of aggression. You'll see a lot of pain, a lot of drama. Back to you.
Lamont Pearson making his way toward the ring now, and Pearson really seems like a confident fighter. As you said, he's a guy who maybe has not gotten the respect that he's due. Seems like he might get it tonight.
Well, the confidence you're right about, because he's been talking about the fact that the confidence for him really grew as far as that Harold Warren fight was concerned. He could get into the ring and fight a guy who'd been around, who'd been a contender, a perennial contender, hold his own with him, and not only hold his own, but end up dominating the fight and knocking him out. So I think you're right about the confidence that he brings in. And he also brings the confidence born from an undefeated record. Only one draw to mar that record here so far. So he's got a lot going for him. You know, he's 30 years of age here, and I think he realizes that, you know, time is not on his side, so that he's got to, you know, make things happen quickly.
Yeah, and a fighter like that, where he knows the clock is ticking, can oftentimes be a hungry fighter, and he's definitely going to have to be that against Carlos Navarro. Navarro is a guy who really has bounced back from the one loss that he's had in his career.
That was to Carlos Contreras, fighting at 122 pounds. Too light for him. He just could not make that weight. So he's had a number of obstacles during his career, actually, Barry, if you go through it. He had what he figured were promotional difficulties at the beginning of his career. He did not get off to the kind of start that everybody had hoped for in terms of being a rising star. And so much was expected of Carlos Navarro from the very beginning, you know, that I think a lot of pressure is on this kid. Still at this point, Carlos, the pressure of a lot of very high expectations. There you see his record. You can't argue with that record, 23-1, and a lot of knockouts along the way. He held a minor world championship to throw in the mix, but he wants to get the real deal. And if he can get a victory here tonight, he might have a chance at one.
Yeah, and I think this is the type of fight that does give you that kind of respect, because these two guys are both qualified. They both deserve to be in there against a good guy, and tonight each one is in there against a good guy. That's what makes this an interesting fight. Of course, what's down the road makes it that much more interesting. Let's take a look at the numbers, see how these two do match up. And Rich, you mentioned it earlier, but Pearson at 30 years of age, the clock is ticking. He is 6 years the senior of Navarro, despite the fact that he's only had 15 fights. He's undefeated Navarro with just a one loss, as you said, to Carlos Contreras, and beyond that, it's a pick'em fight. 3-inch reach advantage for Navarro, maybe a bit of a competition edge to Navarro, but this one should be a very, very good fight. Right now, let's meet him as we take it to the center of the ring, and Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you, and we welcome you to the Grand Victoria Casino in Elgin, Illinois. It's time for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by America Presents matchmaker Thomas Brown, along with 8 Count Productions. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the USBA, along with the Illinois Department of Professional Regulation, the director Leonard A. Sherman, chief boxing coordinator Sean Curtin, the chairman is Phil Siegel, acting executive manager Joel Camposano, executive 2 Joseph P. Birdie, and administrative assistant Ronald Pusillo. Introducing to you our 3 judges at ringside, Mike Gliena, Jerome Jakubko, and Dave Hess, and our referee in charge of the bout, Pete Podgorski. Fight fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the USBA Junior Lightweight Championship, as well as the IBF #1 world ranking. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Grand Victoria in Elgin, Illinois, it's fight time on Fox Sports Net and the main event of the evening. Come on. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trunks with blue trim, hailing from Capitol Heights, Maryland. He weighed in at an even 130 pounds. stands at 15 wins, no losses, 1 draw, with 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Lamont Pearson. And his opponent across the ring, ready to fight on my right out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks with gold trim, fighting out of the south central side of Los Angeles, California. His weight the same as his opponent, right at the limit of 130 pounds. His fine record stands at 23 wins, only 1 loss, with 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing El Zurdo de Oro, Carlos Navarro. Once again, Pete Podgorski, our referee in charge, now to give instructions.
Men or less, first and foremost, protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves, come out banging at the bell.
So we're just about set to go. You take a look at Lamont Pearson. And as we said, Pearson really appears to be the confident fighter, and he'll need to be.
The fighting mailman. There he is. He actually is a U.S. postal worker, and he does deliver mail. Tony Thornton.
That's right.
From recent vintage was another fighting postman.
Out of Philadelphia, had a couple of shots at championships. Pearson to try to go in one better.
Carlos Navarro, you saw those shoes of his, which are festooned with pictures of kids and his fiancée.
Borrowed a page out of the Sugar Ray Leonard scrapbook.
Navarro is trying tonight to really gather some of the prestige that's already going to his younger brother. Jose Navarro, who's an Olympian and who has started off very fast in the professional ranks, is undefeated. And he is managed by Oscar De La Hoya, as the brother of Carlos. Carlos started with such bright expectations himself, but some would say that he's been a disappointment as a pro, or at least he has not advanced as far as many people thought he would.
Once again, Pearson has to deal with the fact that Navarro, being left-handed, good idea to keep an eye on his feet. There'll probably be a lot of stepping on each other's toes. In this fight is going to be a real factor.
That's what each man is trying to do. Navarro a little bit the more aggressive, a little bit the busier here in round 1. But as I look at Pearson, he really looks to me to be just kind of checking out what Navarro's got. You saw him feint with the right hand. He's just trying to see how Navarro reacts to various moves, how he reacts when he pulls back.
Moving right hand from Navarro, no real damage thus far.
First round, at least so far through the first 2 minutes, has been a study hall for these two fighters.
That uppercut missed by Pearson.
Navarro nicknamed El Zurdo de Oro, meaning the golden lefty, golden left-hander. Attack here, basically, Barry, by Navarro in round 1, and just kind of looking things over and checking things out as Pearson here in round 1.
And if there's anything to judge from these two, it looks as though Pearson trying to come up the middle, Navarro trying to hook a little bit more, but again, as you said, it's classroom stuff. End of the first round. Let's size these two up, Rich.
All right, we go back to the corner here with Lamont Pearson, who's a guy who's pretty slick in there and likes to go to the body. He did on a couple occasions there in round 1, but he's only got 16 fights, and he is 30 years old, so he's got to make things happen quick for himself.
himself.
Don't reach for it.
Across the ray is Carlos Navarro. Still quite young at 26. Smart when he's aggressive. He can be entertaining to watch. Has shown pretty good power. Not great power, but pretty good. Had that great amateur career, but as a pro, not quite as far as people thought he would get.
Right now, let's go to the champ, Sean O'Grady, who's with another champ, Stevie Forbes. Sean?
The IBF champion of the world, Stephen Forbes. What are you watching here?
I'm watching a chess match between two guys got very good skills.
These may be one of your opponents in the future.
Yes, the winner will be #1 contender, so I'm looking forward to whoever wins.
You know, you don't look scared over here. Are you scared?
Nah, never scared.
Nah, no way. No fear in you, I know. Now, you've got a fight, an interim fight coming up with the #1 contender currently, John Brown, sometime this summer. But one of these two you'll face later on in this year, right?
Yes, that's correct. I got a fight with John Brown, so Brown, get ready. We do it again.
All right, Brown Town. Hey, what about this fight here? What are you seeing?
I see it look like Navarro's controlling the fight, but Pearson's having, spurts.
Yeah, any prediction?
Navarro should win, but you never know.
Yeah, I know. They're both. This should be it's a hard fight to handicap. It should be a good fight. Back over to you guys.
All right, thanks much. Round number 2 just underway, and
Forbes has still got to fight, as you mentioned, Brown. That's almost a continuation of their first fight, Barry, which was very, very close at the time it was stopped. And, Brown had the problem with the ear. And I think Forbes has still got some proving to do insofar as his championship timber is concerned.
in fact, as I recall, was Brown not ahead in that fight when they stopped him?
Yes, he was, in fact. Ahead, I believe, on 2 of the 3 scorecards.
Right. It was a very close fight and a very good fight, and they'll do it again.
Right, and then after that, the winner of this one moves into the #1 slot, which is currently held down by Brown. Of course, Forbes was supposed to fight Justin Juco, but because of an injury, had to pull out, and that's when Zepeda surprisingly stepped in and KO'd Juco.
That's right. A little bit of a welt on the left cheek of Navarro right now. Nothing that's real serious at all, but it's there.
Well, Navarro ducked down, and he ducked right into that punch of Pearson. Pearson saw where he was going, and he launched a right hand low, and it connected with the face of Navarro.
And Pearson's having a pretty good second round. Sean O'Grady has joined us here at the table. So far, setting up is a pretty good fight.
Very good fight. Yeah, and it's really daunting when you face a left-hander. They come at you backwards. Their styles are different. You get hit with punches from different angles. But Pearson doing a fine job early in this fight. He's doing exactly what he should be doing against left-handers. Look at that. A pivot and then a nice left hook. Now, southpaws are vulnerable to real wide left hooks and real straight right hands. Pearson uses very well. That's what caused that welt underneath the left eye of Navarro. Navarro getting hit a bit too much early in this fight.
Now we're seeing Pearson really, Sean, opening up and getting into the fight. I think he's studied all he wants to study. He's seen enough, he feels, that he can now begin really launching an arsenal.
He's probably thinking to himself, what's going on with Navarro? Why isn't he mauling me like Carlos normally does? Maybe I should go in and try some, see if this works. Maybe I can take him out. Maybe I've caught him cold. Navarro's also a 12-round fighter. He usually doesn't get started till after the 3rd round.
I think Pearson's really controlling the second round, and actually, he's busting Navarro up a little bit for early in this fight.
Watch Navarro's head. He's going to bring it down here, and then the right hand there by Lamont Pearson will come in. He saw right where he was going with it, and he launched it, and it landed cleanly. Nice job by Pearson.
Nice round by Pearson. This is round 3, scheduled for 12.
Now let's see if Pearson really attempts to keep the pressure on here, Barry. He started to have something going in that last round. I think that welt started to look a little angry underneath the left eye of Navarro near the end of the round.
Yeah, it's early in the fight to start messing with that stuff. Pearson shows pretty good quickness, too. He's got very good feet, pretty quick hands. Even fight thus far.
Carlos Navarro, 95 champion of the United States in the amateur ranks at 119. The year before, he won it at 112. Fought Floyd Mayweather 3 times. Beat Floyd Mayweather in the amateurs.
Let's go into the corner of Carlos Navarro. That's where the champ is. Sean, what do you got?
Thanks, guys. Frank Rivera, the chief trainer over here. What's happening? Carlos getting hit a lot.
He's staying in front of the kid too much. He's supposed to be light and moving to his right. And he's flat-footed. He's staying in front. We don't want. That's not the game plan.
Is he getting caught cold in this fight?
No. He's for some reason he feels a little sluggish. And we got to work through it. But he knows that he's supposed to be circling right, moving over, boxing this kid. This kid's.
He knows what to do. He's just not doing it. You think he could be a little bit nervous, being that this fight is for all the marbles, and the champion sitting here at ringside?
No, it has no effect at all. I think it's just the kid's style and coming out here. He just feels a little heavy on his feet.
Well, he's really focused, I know, but what do you do to really get him where he's really compact and doing what you want him to do?
In between the rounds, I got to just keep stressing the fact that staying in front of this guy is not our game. And
what does he say to you?
He understands. He's just forcing himself to move a little bit. He feels a little sluggish.
He knows what to do. He may be a little bit tight. You might want to relax him a little bit. Back over to you guys, Barry.
All right, thanks very much, Rich. My observation is that Navarro is looking at Pearson as if to say, I didn't realize you were this quick.
Yeah, but I think the sluggish turn that his trainer used over there is correct. That's the look. That's the impression I get. Sluggish is very good. I mean, is a very good term to describe what's happening here with Navarro. And Pearson is showing no fear now. He's not showing Navarro much respect, I don't think, and it's working for him. He's picking up with confidence with each round.
Well, he's out-quicking Carlos. There's no question about that. Look at right there. It's a perfect example.
That little right uppercut inside.
Yep. Another excellent round, I believe, for Pearson.
Pearson rocked Navarro early in the last round, first with a right and then follow-up left, and he saw his legs. He had to give ground there. Then later on in the round, when Navarro's arms are extended, he comes right underneath him with the right uppercut. Good little technical move there by Pearson that caught Navarro by surprise.
I'll tell you, I'm surprised. Pearson is good. Lamont Pearson really picking his shots. He has elevated his performance, and he needs to here. I mean, this is a USBA championship. I got a lot when I won the USBA championship. I got so much respect from that title. It is such an important belt to have. I know both of these fighters understand that.
Smart move there by Pearson, stepping outside the right foot of Navarro and cranking the hook.
Well, he does it sometimes, and he squares up to the left-hander. Perhaps he feels that he can get the right hand home. It's a little closer that way.
I mentioned to Frank Rivera that Carlos looks tight tonight. He looks like he's trying to knock him out with every punch. And he said he agreed with me, so he tried to tell him between rounds to relax, to play, have fun out there a little bit.
And now Navarro is loosening up a little bit and appearing more fluid in this round and less sluggish.
He's got to do it. Just let the punches land.
And showing some movement.
Yes, that's what they told him between rounds. You see certainly a different complexion as a fighter from him this round as the last.
Took a step to the left and cranked a straight right. Sean, you were talking about that. Straight right is an effective punch.
Very effective. Against a left-handed fighter, they run into it every time. It's a straight shot. It's a hook blocked by Pearson. Pearson really has his skills on tonight. He is sharp.
Well, you know what really impresses me, both Sean and Rich, is that he's come in here with an idea of what you have to do with a left-hander, and you just don't see that very often.
You do not. He came in with a fight plan, and he knows what he's doing in that ring. That is what's impressive. There is a system to this madness. It's not just go out there and wail on your opponent, got to barrel through him. Strategy of boxing is so important.
He has forced Navarro into adjusting, so Carlos is trying to make the adjustment, the proper adjustment, which is to utilize some movement, some head movement, and some leg movement in this round. He continually, Pearson squares up to him. He will take his right foot, which is in the back, drag it forward so that he's almost square with Navarro, and then throw the right hand from a closer position.
Well, he continues to out-quick Navarro.
Sluggish tonight. Looks like he's underwater.
Walked right into the right hand by Pearson. Another right hand by Pearson. I'm very impressed with Pearson's quickness. Coming to the end of round number 4.
right hand. And also watch the hip movement right there of Pearson when he squares up to throw the right hand. There it is. See how he pivots and gets his whole body into that punch as he throws. He swings that right hip around.
That is how sharp and how focused Lamont Pearson is. You know, these fighters increase their focus on that little light bag that they hit, that little bag hanging from the ceiling, and he has spent hours diligently working on that bag. Lamont Pearson has.
This is round number 5.
I thought Navarro had an excellent first minute in the last round, but then he just stopped moving, and he went right back to where he was in the previous round, which was standing in front of Pearson.
And looking like he's underwater. He got slow, he got lethargic in there as the round progressed. He comes out this round kind of with an increased focus, with sharpness.
But the question that I would pose is it that Navarro is slow, or is it that Pearson is quick?
Well, Pearson's quick, and Pearson has hurt him on several occasions with those quick, sharp punches. When you get hit and you get hurt, it just takes the steam out of you, it takes the quickness out of you. All of a sudden, you feel like you're underwater. Your bell's ringing. You feel like you're swimming underwater. Your punches are slow. Everything's moving in slow motion. And that's what was happening to Navarro. Wow, again.
Great right hand.
Pearson can crack. Only 8 KOs in his 15 wins, but he has good power. Wow, this is just not like Carlos Navarro that I've seen in the past. A lot of combinations from him. Great body work. You're not seeing that tonight.
Pearson's loading up now, especially with those body shots.
Look at that. Pearson hands up around his face, elbows in tight around his body. Look at the body of Navarro. He is sure on tonight.
Navarro's not hurt, and it would be wrong to say that, but you know, he looks like he knows what's going on, but so far is kind of at a loss to figure out how to make a change.
And I think that would be indicative of a fighter that is hurt. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I think he's been hurt on several occasions with crisp punches. He's been hurt. It just takes everything out of you. It takes your steam. It takes your wind. It takes your speed. And I think that's what has happened to Navarro. And once you get hurt early in a fight, it's easier to get hurt later as the fight continues.
Pearson just hot-shotting.
Boy, Pearson really.
I'll tell you, if the sport is hit and don't be hit, then Pearson is getting it all done. We welcome you back to the Grand Victoria Casino. We're in Elgin, Illinois, up the road from Chicago. Barry Tompkins, Rich Marotta, the champ Sean O'Grady, telling you all about our main event. This is a battle for the USBA Junior Lightweight Championship. More importantly, a battle for number 1 in the IBF. And a chance to fight one of the real marquee fighters, Pearson, Lamont Pearson and Carlos Navarro. With Navarro, I'm sure you would have had to say, coming into this fight as the favorite. And Pearson just handed it to him so far.
Well, I've got him winning the last 4 rounds. And I think that Navarro needs to be busier there, and he starts off this round a little in that way, a little busy.
But hitting Pearson on the gloves. Let's go into the corner of Lamont Pearson, and Sean O'Grady is there. And Sean, I got to imagine Pearson's folks have to be pretty happy with what they're seeing so far.
Very happy. This looks like a winning corner over here. Andre Hunter is the chief trainer. Andre, what did you do to Lamont Pearson? He looks fantastic.
Well, Lamont really is a very good athlete. He's just blessed by God. You know, I do what I do, and I can't take the credit for that because he's just.
What are you trying to get him to do tonight?
What I'm trying to do is get him just keep hitting his butt with jab. When he's walking back on his heels, take a hard step behind him with a quick jab in the right hand.
You're trying to get him to do something else once he gets Carlos to the ropes. What do you want him to do?
That's when I want him to throw that right hand. Only when he gets back high on his heels, standing up straight. He can't get away from it. And then when he's in the middle of the ring, bending down, I want him to bring it on and bring the hook back upside.
Yeah, I see those uppercuts. You want the uppercuts when Carlos is bending over, right?
But while he's in tight inside fighting, I need him to keep circling, have to hit this guy to keep pulling to his left. Carlos likes to throw a big left hand.
Andre, any concern about the judges' scorecards at this point? I think you're way ahead.
I think we're ahead too, but I just want him to keep his focus, keep keep sharp. Don't get laxed in there. Keep doing what he's doing. It was fine.
You can't let down because you know how Carlos Navarro can punch. Still in the fight. Back over to you guys.
Well, he is doing what he's doing, Rich. I think he started out right where he left off in this round, and he's completely controlling the fight, and he's got Navarro going backward.
Navarro a little bit better work this round with the jab, but still, you know, Pearson's just heavier-handed than he is. Like a low blow for Carlos. Carlos, back in November of '99, was supposed to fight Nestor Garza for the WBA title at 123 pounds. 10 days before the fight, Garza pulled out with an injury. Big letdown at that point for Carlos Navarro, and he has not had a title shot since. And tonight is a night where he could get himself into position to claim a title shot. #1 ranking if he can win this fight. But haven't seen a lot of that kind of hunger out of him so far.
Little uppercut slipped through there. We talked about Pearson being heavy-handed. There's another good right hand. He seems to be getting Navarro's attention even when he hits him on the gloves. Rich, you talked about Pearson's being heavy-handed. Listen to this uppercut.
You can hear them. They land with a thud. Now again, the start of the round is when Navarro does his best work. In each of the last 2 rounds, I thought he's had an effective first minute. But at the end, I haven't felt that it was enough for him to carry the round because he stops after about a minute. Now, Navarro's starting well here in the round again at the beginning, doing most of the work, making Pearson miss and landing some combinations.
Those punches are caught on the arms, the gloves.
Navarro's got to put out a better jab than he is. Instead of he's using his jab to kind of set things up, but he needs to keep Pearson off him. And a more stinging jab would do that. So he's just kind of throwing it out there. Break!
Pearson just took a step back, took a deep breath. Pearson, incidentally, has gone the 12 rounds. He did it in his last fight.
Well, they got Harold Warren out in the 12th round.
That's right, 9 seconds to go in the fight.
Navarro having a better round here so far, but now he's got to stop. He can't just stop fighting. You know, once again, he wins the first minute of the round. He's fighting well in this round, Navarro is.
Casamayor get his read on this fight thus far as soon as this round is over.
Pearson's still aggressive, still coming forward, but has not thrown as many punches, not near as many punches in this round as he has in the previous round. He's done a lot more posing in this round.
That's true.
I think Carlos is boxing quite intelligently in this round and keeping Pearson at bay.
Notice Pearson shaking his right hand just a minute ago. Sometimes it can mean that hand is hurt.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, of course, when Floyd Mayweather had both hands hurt in this division in his title defense against Carlos Famous Hernandez.
Still won the fight, too, somehow.
Still won, yeah. Boy, he looked like he was hurting with those hands, though.
Your point is very well taken. Pearson not doing much in this round. He's kind of allowing Navarro to take the round. More a case, I think, of what Pearson didn't do and what Navarro did. Let's go to Sean O'Grady with Joel Casamayor. Sean?
Thanks, guys. The WBA junior lightweight champion is Joel Casamayor. Louis De Cuba's going to help me interpret. And Louis, ask him what he thinks about this fight. It's pretty one-sided.
¿Qué tú crees de esta pelea, Casamayor? ¿Qué tú crees de la pelea que está pasando aquí?
Bueno, para mí es una buena pelea para aquí, para el casino. Y yo veo una pelea más que de ver mi edición. Venía a ver la pelea y para mí una experiencia y coger que algún día uno de ellos puede ser mi voluntario.
Without a
doubt. You know, it was a great fight. Pearson, it seems like he's definitely winning the fight, but he's here. He's happy he's here because he's scouting these guys. Maybe he's a possible opponent someday.
Yeah, you're looking forward in your career. You might face him. Are you at all daunted by sitting here watching him? Does it scare you at all?
Te mete miedo cuando estás viendo aquí la pelea.
No. I think we all understand that. Yeah, I don't think he's scared at all. Back over to you guys.
That was a good answer. And that was an answer that Louis de Cubas absolutely translated perfectly.
Yes. No translation was needed on that one. Casamayor, I think Casamayor, since he hooked up with Joe Goosen, really caught his stride. And Joe has done a great job as his trainer, leading him to the top.
Very popular guy in the Cuban community, too, in Miami. As a matter of fact, here I am name dropping, but I was talking to Levon Hernandez from That's Not a Knockdown, from the San Francisco Giants, and he was singing the praises of Casamayor. Not only Casamayor the fighter, but Casamayor the guy.
Let's see if Pearson comes out here in this round with a little more intensity than he showed in that last round. Navarro did a good job of changing the tempo of the fight, I thought, a little bit in that last round. He did a nice job of boxing.
I got the sense, Sean O'Grady, that Casamayor is not worried.
What would make you think that? You know what? He's not. He's really. I think he's the glamour of this division. I think he is the man really to beat. He's so focused. Casamayor is really great. As he's looking at this fight, certainly picking out different things. Lamont Pearson would be a different fighter against him, or even Carlos Navarro. We certainly can't count him out of this match. He's still got 3.5 more rounds to work with.
You would say even more than Floyd Mayweather? The glamour of the division?
No, yeah, you're right. Floyd too. And he's right there with Floyd.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Casamayor, yes. Well, he and Floyd are the match.
Although the first up will be Freitas, as long as he can make the weight. That'll be interesting because Freitas has got that big giant punch, and Casamayor is an expert boxer. That's a great style contrast if they beat.
You know, how much of these fights, you know, he's fighting, Floyd's a terrific fighter, but fighting back-to-back tough fights. How much does that wear on a fighter?
That's the charm of this division, though, is that there are so many good fights out there.
There's so many great fighters in this division, too.
Not only good fights, just good matchups, guys with different styles.
And guys who really love the sport, who follow the sport, they love the game, they improve themselves. I mean, Floyd Mayweather's been in the game, learning the game. Went to the gym with his father, Floyd Sr., at 4 years old. Oh, look at that right hand. Lamont Pearson is just putting it all together tonight.
But I'll tell you what, Rich, here again, it's an observation. I'll throw this out there for you. It looks to me like Pearson's getting a little tired.
It's possible there. Up until that last little salvo, he hadn't shown much for a round and a half.
Oh, well.
And there it is.
Like a liar out of me.
I think he heard you.
Yeah.
When you say that from now on, whisper.
I heard it.
Yeah, Navarro on his way down.
That's a knockdown. I think that is a knockdown.
He didn't call it one, though.
No, he didn't.
But Gorski was saying that he was pushed down. And he got cracked a couple of hard punches and then a left to the body. Navarro's in trouble.
Well, he really did. He looked a little longish. Just didn't look like he had it all together. Was breathing through his mouth and just found something.
You know how you got that? That daggone jab. You got me?
He's feeling great over there in the corner.
Look, when here. Pop, 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 pop. Don't get too close when you get him inside because we don't want to smother your power and take the leverage away, all right? You want to keep the power. But, baby, you waiting too long when he get about a rope.
Was it not a knockdown? Pearson really opening up. There's the right hand. It drives him back into the ropes. There's the body shot. Pearson coming forward. There's the left hook to the body. There's the knee touching the ground. But what the referee, Podgorski, says was he kind of pushed him to the ground a little. And Navarro clearly troubled there in the corner. They're trying to wake him up over there. Frank Rivera grabbed hold of the neck and was just shaking him.
More, I'll tell you, and it's hard too. When you have a fighter that is just not his night, how do you get him into the fight is beyond me. I've seen it so many times. One night, one punch, one fighter, and they age immediately. They don't decline slowly. Fighters age one punch. bothering him.
And Pearson really does seem revitalized.
Pearson focused, Navarro not.
And that right hand of Pearson that really turned things in the 8th round came right after a pretty good little rally by Navarro.
You know, boxing is about imposing your will on your opponent. Lamont certainly did that.
That's it.
Yeah, good. I like that from the corner. They should do it. It's not his night. He's in there taking a beating. Why do you let him continue that? Lamont Pearson gets this is a major win for Pearson. Navarro only one time was defeated in the past out of 24 fights. And Pearson. What adulation over in the corner of Pearson, but Rivera just said that's enough. My fighter's been hit enough. He's taken enough punishment. Let's stop this fight. Not his night. It was his night. Lamont Pearson. What an awakening for him. You know, his career kind of floated along. 15-0-1 with 18 KOs. Nobody really knew him. You know what? They're going to be knowing him now.
Here's the right hand, cracked it right on the chin. In came the towel, and Navarro going down at the same time. So Frank Rivera knew it was about to happen. It's a beautiful right hand. Look at that one. He just whipped that over. And a delayed reaction, basically, to the knockdown.
You know, when you're sharp like that, it's like you can't miss a good punch. You can't miss your opponent with your fist, even if you try. Seems like every punch you throw, your opponent runs into it, and that's the way he was. Lamont Pearson was so sharp in this fight tonight. He is the USBA champion.
And he earned it, I'll tell you that.
You know, they've done it the right way with Pearson, though. They've been stepping him up little by little. Last fight, Harold Warren. Now this fight, Carlos Navarro. He keeps heading up.
Big things coming for him. Welcome back. Which I really like a guy who comes in here with an idea of how to win the fight, how to beat a guy that maybe you're not supposed to beat, and then execute that plan perfectly. I thought that's exactly what Lamont Pearson did tonight.
Yeah, he did it, and you know something? Carlos Navarro tried to adjust and did adjust just successfully for a moment, but then once again, Pearson was able to figure him out, figure what he was doing, slow him down once again, and eventually finish him off.
All right, let's make it official here as we go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. Jimmy?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a time of 1 minute 4 seconds in round number 9. Our referee in charge, Pete Podgorski, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, the new USBA Junior Lightweight Champion, and now the IBF #1 world contender, Lamont Pearson.
Is the winner, and with it he gets the #1 ranking. Now it's interesting, he was not ranked in the IBF rankings at all coming into this fight. Now you say, how did he get to be #1? Well, I'm not quite sure, actually I am quite sure how all of that happens, but the bottom line is he does seem to be a guy that is worthy of being the #1 ranked fighter.
Well, he's certainly worthy of a ranking. I mean, he was, I think, ranked at #9 in the WBA just recently, so he had attained that, and he had attained a minor title, and now he's attained a little bit better title and a lot better ranking. There he's got the IBF champion Stevie Forbes just to his right. And if Forbes gets by John Brown, we could see these two not too far down the road together.
Which would be an interesting fight. Joel Casamayor was also up in the center of the ring congratulating him a moment ago as well. Let's go to Sean O'Grady, who's with the winner. Sean?
Lamont Pearson, wow, you are certainly excited about this championship, but where did you come from?
Where did I come from? I come from Keystone.
Yeah, but I've seen your career. You're kind of floating along. All of a sudden, you put it all together. What happened?
I floating along from day one. I was tested. From day one, I was tested with Abdullah, the Ghana gold medalist, Daryl Pinkney, all the veterans. Every fight, like I said, brought me to this position.
You know, you've been working in the gym diligently on everything, and your skills all paid off tonight. In fact, I want you to take a look at this right hand that you landed because...
Which time? Which time?
Yeah, which time is right. You landed him at will. What were you thinking here right toward the end of this fight?
Right towards the end, I had no idea his corner was going to stop him. He looked hurt every time I hit him. It was just a matter I keep up. I think the 7th round, he took control with the jab, so I had to take control back in the 8th.
You had had to fight back. What were you thinking when he took control?
When he took control, I was like, okay, I knew he had a lot of experience. I knew that coming from the amateurs. So I had to dig deep and take control back with my jab and my reach. And I knew a matter of time before I tapped him. It was a tough fight. He took a lot of hard shots.
And you said, wait a minute, I'm the boss in this fight.
I'm the boss. I'm the boss. I wanted to box him, but I didn't want to give him the aggressive too much, to give him any confidence.
USBA champion, how did that make you feel? I see you're hugging your trainers right there. What were you?
From the 98 Golden Gloves to my fights here, my fight with Earl Warren, this fight, every fight I'm learning and I'm tested, and I love it.
And Lamont,
it makes me feel great. I want to thank Keystone America Presents to give me this opportunity, and I'll be back.
Big opportunity, but you know something? You've been brought along systematically. You fought Harold Warren in your life. You've been schooling. Now you get this victory, the USBA championship, Carlos Navarro. You look ahead at Steve Forbes, which very likely could be your next opponent. What do you have to learn, and what do you have to change between now and that fight?
Well, that fight is over with. Now, whoever they ask me to go against next, I'll go back and I'll do my work. This fight,
are you the #1 contender?
That's what they announced before this fight, so I guess I am #1 contender. But I'm gonna take whatever. I've been taking whatever they've been giving me. Like I said, I got some good sparring with Mark Two Shop Johnson, DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley. I want to thank Dale Matchett, and whoever they put in front of me next time, whether it's my man right here, Steve Forbes. I'm looking forward to that test.
All right, tell me something. Are you excited?
I'm so excited I can't even put in words. I'm happy to be here with my man Jimmy Lennon and you guys. I've been watching you guys for years, and I want to give my shout out for the champs this year, Steve Forbes, Cosmayor. I'm looking to step up. I want my picture up on when y'all show me y'all look at the junior lightweights.
Hey, come on, are you trying to take my job here? Steve Forbes is right here. Steve, I want to get you in here for a moment. Steve,
got some fat cheeks there, baby.
Oh, fat cheeks.
Oh, 150 now.
That's not out of training, are you?
No.
Steve Forbes, what is your assessment of the performance tonight?
Excellent performance by Lamont Pearson. He just added spark to the junior lightweight division, and that's what it needs. This is the best division in boxing.
Yeah, it is the best division in boxing. Did he divulge any secrets in his performance tonight?
Well, if he did, I wouldn't say, but no, he looked good. This is his night, his time to shine, and when he fights for the title, then we'll get it on. But this is his night, and I don't want to hurt his night.
Well, you don't want to divulge any secrets right here in front of you, but right here in front of him. But I'll get between you guys. No, I'm kidding. So in training for this man, how are you going to change your style? What are you going to adapt? Or I know you've got to get past John Brown first, but how are you going to fight Lamont?
We cannot sit in front of Lamont. He's a good puncher, good skilled boxer. I see it as it'll be a good chess match because I'm a good boxer, he's a good boxer, and you get two good fighters come together. Yeah. This is what makes boxing exciting.
Two good fighters. What about his fight with Navarro? Would it be a different kind of fight with you?
Yeah, because Navarro's a southpaw and I'm not. Very different, but he looked good tonight.
He did. He looked very good. All right, Steve Forbes. I think we've got Carlos Navarro in here too. Let me wind my way over there. Carlos. First of all, Carlos, a lot of fans out there. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm real good. I'm fine. I caught some real good shots. The guy's real strong. But first of all, before anything, I want to thank America Presents for making this possible. I came in here, I gave it my all.
Carlos, what happened tonight?
You know what? I was real off. My legs were gone. I don't know what happened. I felt good coming into the fight. Just all of a sudden, I don't know. I couldn't let go. I mean, everybody knows how I fight out there.
I've seen you before. Rich Murata's seen you before. Barry Tompkins has seen you. We've all seen you fight, and it's not been this kind of fight. Even from the first round on, you weren't in this fight. Is something on your mind that shouldn't be, or is there what's going on with Carlos Navarro?
You know what? It's not. I started off this whole fight real good, but then as soon as the bell rang, I was off. I couldn't move. I couldn't keep my hands up. I couldn't let go.
Yeah, even there. I mean, in this round in the fight, it looked like this doesn't look like Carlos Navarro to me. What's next for you? What do you do now?
Well, as of now, I'm thinking, you know what? I don't want to get hurt. I don't know if I should announce my retirement, but you know what? For right now, I want to get my head off the game and you know, do something for my family. I have family and a wife, and you know, I got to go and take care of them some other way.
I think it's the best idea for you right now. Get as far away from boxing as you can. Try to figure out what it is that you want to do, and then go ahead and do it. Carlos Navarro, he put up a good fight, but he didn't come out ahead. In fact, off from the first round on. Back over to you guys.
Yeah, finishing second. Doesn't quite get it in this sport.
No, and it sounds like Carlos may be leaving the ring. And, you know, there's a guy who had so many high expectations, and so many people had high expectations for him as a professional. Expectations he has not reached as a professional, and it's going to be a disappointing conclusion if it, in fact, is the conclusion of his career.
Meantime, let's give it to this man, Lamont Pearson. He's the guy that's #1, and he's the guy that those 4